Okay, receptive language, the ability to understand, or expressive language, the ability to articulate. You don't go into special ed class most of the time. You simply get help with the speech therapist. But I'm going to tell you right now, if your child is getting therapy from the speech therapist, you better make sure the speech therapist is working with your child, because I know black kids who've been in speech therapy since kindergarten and they ain't made no progress because the speech therapist ain't working with them, but they writing up their notes as if they did. They writing up their notes as if they did. Y'all with me?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they still getting the 7,000?
Of course. The minute I say your child got a disability and needs special ed, they type the name in the computer, it gets sent up to Washington, D.C., also to the state capital of Virginia, and that money gets generated. And the problem with the special ed money is what? I don't have a problem with the fact that you get extra money to teach the special ed kids. The problem is the money don't get spent on the special ed kids. Guess who get the money? The football team for new uniforms. The basketball team for new rims. The teachers so everybody get a new computer. The staff day, they use the money on everything but the kids they got it. And that's why the black parents of Richmond have to organize yourselves into a powerful, effective black parent union. A union. Because the only way you can fix it is through organized black parent power. And I'm going to tell you who you got to put weight on. Your black state senators and your black state reps, because education is controlled by the state. You do not have a United States constitutional right to go to school.
No, sir, not at all.
The United States Constitution is a criminal document. It doesn't deal with education. It deals with slavery. Okay? You have a state right to go to school. So who controls state law? The state legislature. Your state senators and your state reps. When's the last time you asked them a question about education in the state? That's right. That's right. Even your mayor don't even have so much control over the schools. It's the state legislature. But you got to organize the black parents, y'all. That's the way you get it done. Because there's no way you're going to be able to fight with the teachers union. Because they powerful. All the teachers belong to the teachers union, including the black ones. Now some of the black ones are going to step off to fight for their kids. But the average black teacher is scared of the white teacher union, so they're going to stay in line and shook and drive. Not our sisters over here. We know that. Okay? But I'm going to tell you, the teachers union got a lot of power. And the one thing we have to do is we have to eliminate the provision that says if you've been teaching for 3 years, you're going to have your job for the rest of your life. If you've been teaching for 3 years, you will have your job until you decide to retire, no matter how bad of a teacher you are. Did you know that?
No.
In Richmond, how many years is it before you get tenure? You're in Durham. I'm sorry, Queen. How many years before you get tenure?
3 years.
You heard that? 3 or 4. What is it in Richmond? How many years before you get tenure? You remember, Michelle? You see that? It's normally 3 or 4. 3 or 4 years, you're going to have your job for the rest of your life, benefits and everything, no matter how bad you teach.
Wow.
Traumatic brain injury. Y'all know what that is? A kid who's been in a car accident or they got to wear a helmet. If you got young children, you got to make sure they're not playing too roughly outside, because a lot of our babies are hitting their head on the monkey bars, and it's causing neurological brain damage. And you don't see it right away, but it comes up later. Your daughter running through the monkey bars, and she hit her head, and she get up, and she cry, you give her a hug, and you go on, right? 5 years later, she can't even walk in a straight line. Or she can't remember anything. Or she's stuttering when she talks. And you like, she ain't used to do that. And they say, well, has she ever hit her head before? Remember, the human brain don't stop growing until you're about 30 years old. So we got to protect those baby skulls until they start growing. Okay, I know they got big heads, that African head, but it's real delicate in there. Okay? Deafness with blindness, multiple disabilities. It only means you got more than one, okay? And then developmental delay, hearing impairment, okay? In a lot of states, hearing impairment and deafness actually go together, or the blindness and the visual impairment can go together sometimes as well. Sometimes the deafness and the hearing impairment can go together. Sometimes the states play with that, but you're still looking at 12, 13 educational disabilities. Okay? If you ever have an issue with your child, all you have to do is send me an email telling me what's going on with the child. Don't sign nothing. Stop signing stuff that white people give you. Okay? You'll sign yourself back into slavery, half of you, because you don't read nothing. Okay? My cards are on that table over there. You want to get my card, keep it with you. Psychotropic drugs, leave it. Oh, I didn't give y'all none of the side effects. I'll leave it out. And then I'm going to wrap up after this. Let's talk about Adderall. Adderall is one of the ADHD labels. By the way, there is no more ADD, right? We know that, right? ADD was eliminated. There's only ADHD. Primarily hyper, primarily inattentive, combined, or ADHD NOS. ADD no longer exists. Just like LD no longer exists, it's SLD. What are the side effects for Adderall? I'm not making this up. This is coming straight out of PDR. Latest version. Here we go. Depression, dry mouth, heart attack, high blood pressure, sexual impotence, overstimulation, rapid heartbeat, seizures, stomach intestinal disturbance, stroke, sudden death, weight loss, diarrhea, dizziness, fever, viral infection, insomnia, mood swings, nausea, nervousness, vomiting, weakness.
No, that's been on Facebook.
Well, that one, that would have been enough.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Okay?
now.
Okay. Let's do another. No, but here's the thing. When the doctor writes that prescription, do they tell you that?
No.
In fact, the next time a teacher tell you your son need meds, read her the list and say, would you give it to your child? Well, Rodney takes it, well, good for Rodney. My son ain't taking no damn drugs. I'm going to give y'all another one. Here we go. This is Risperdal. Now, Risperdal is an antipsychotic. You give it to schizophrenics. So, and we know that schizophrenia doesn't develop until your early 30s, right? So let me ask you a question. If schizophrenia doesn't develop until your early 30s, how is it that we got 7-year-old kids taking Risperdal? Because the antipsychotic medicines are also mood stabilizers. The antipsychotic medicines are also mood stabilizers. So they're giving black kids schizophrenic meds to make them do what? Calm down. So the boys with the anger problems and the fighting problems, they're giving them Risperdal and Depakote, powerful antipsychotics to force their brain to calm the body down. Now, what are some of the side effects for Risperdal? Agitation, anxiety, constipation, dizziness, hallucination, headache, indigestion, insomnia, irregular heartbeat, runny nose, sleepiness, vomiting, weight change. Last one I'm going to give you. Do you see all the problems you caused by trying to stop one? Ritalin. Listen to this. Most important fact about this drug, Ritalin. Excessive doses of Ritalin over a long period of time can produce addiction. Wow. It is also possible to develop a tolerance to Ritalin so that the larger doses are needed to produce the original effect. Larger doses are needed to produce an original effect. Larger doses are needed to produce the original effect. Because of these dangers, be sure to check with your doctor before making any change in dosage. And only withdraw the drug under your doctor's supervision. Ritalin is classified by the Drug Enforcement Agency of the United States of America as a Schedule II drug, which means it's just as addictive as crack cocaine. It is pharmacologically the same thing 100% as the illegal street drug speed. Speed and Ritalin are one and the same. Kids sell this medicine in the schoolyard for $5. And guess what happens? When your insurance runs out, when they get 18 or 21 years old, and they so used to getting high for the past 15 years, and your insurance ain't paying for it no more, guess what happens then? They become a regular street drug addict. All these drugs serve as gateways to the illegal drugs. Kill them before they grow. Any questions? Queen.
Yeah, you was focusing on
I love it.
black
I need a
brothers.
cup of water if I can.
You was focusing on the black brothers and how, everything set up to basically,
Exterminate.
Yeah, exterminate them. Now, in my studies, I've learned that the mother is the first. So what are they doing to basically get the woman? They have to get the woman first. They can't get the black boy and start corrected by the mother. So what are they doing with her first?
They are getting the boys without the moms. But the problem is that the parents are compliant in it because of their ignorance. You See, ultimately, the #1 weapon being used against the single-parent black mother so they can get at her son is her stress. You work 2 jobs. You raising 5 kids by yourself. I'm the principal. I'm black. I'm from the hood, but I forgot all that. My wife is white. I live in the suburbs now, right? And I'm calling you every day to come and pick him up early because he getting on our school's nerves. So every time you come up to get your son, guess what? You got to take off from the job. You got to take off from the job. So now you get notices from your employer. You take off early one more time, we might got to terminate you. So you got to make a decision. Either I keep my job and be able to feed all my kids, or I'm going to be homeless and jobless if I don't put them on those psychotropics. So I'm finding a lot of mothers, because of stress and no help, no support, they are putting their sons on drugs so the school can leave them the hell alone. Are y'all with me? And I want to say this, I don't blame the mothers. I don't want them putting the kids on drugs. But the black men are not doing our job.
But if
See?
the black woman did their job from the beginning, then the black women doing their job. Because they're black women taught them.
And if the
Well, that's an assumption, because not everybody's mother taught them appropriately.
The black women being targeted.
I had a question.
We're miseducated and taught everything. Everything starts. We say that they
I agree, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. No, stay with me.
Okay.
Hindsight is always 20/20. If you have 5 children right now, it ain't even no need for me to talk about what you should have done differently 20 years ago, because the kids are here. And we have a bad habit in the black community of taking you back in your history, saying, well, if you didn't do this, obviously, but I can't step into a time tube and go back and fix the problem. We got to deal with the reality as it is. You follow me? So that's over. So we got to look at where it is now. Now, if I got to encourage a sister not to have no more children till she get this correct, then I can do that. But ain't no need talking about how you could have prevented all these kids, because they here now. And all that's going to do is stress her out more, isolate her more. And we know black women suffer from depression that it's unreal. And we got a lot of women who are self-medicating with alcohol, cigarettes, and marijuana to deal with the stress. Okay? So we just got to support the parents. The problem is black men are not in the lives of our boys. Period. Okay? If you got 4 sons, I got to take one, he got to take one, he got to take one, he got to take one, without trying to get between your legs. You see? We got to look at it purely for what it is and to help that sister relieve some stress. Because guess what? 75% of black boys diagnosed with ADHD don't have a father figure. All they need is a man in their life. And we can eliminate the drugs, we can eliminate the special ed, we can eliminate the gangs, we can eliminate the prison. The problem is black people are just as selfish as white people are.
Even more so.
Even more so. Queen.
I got a, I guess, question, comment. What did you do? I was traumatized on 4th grade, and it just, something triggered that off memory. I forgot all about it. My teacher, I had adjustment, moved to a new school, kids were teaching and all that, and I was failing in some subject. Anyway, she referred, and my mother believed every ounce of it, but anyway, she referred me to big brother, big sister, which kind of traumatized me, because I had a white big sister, and I wanted the long hair, and I wanted the white family, and I thought her family was better. What about the referrals that they give to the parents, and the parents just believe them? Because that was,
Well, you got to remember, the #1 goal of slavery was to make the victim a willing accomplice in his own extermination. Slavery and oppression cannot work without our help. It can't work without our help. And the bottom line is, no matter what we've been through, we still trust white people more than we trust each other. The average black person trusts white people. And we love white people. And we teach our kids to love white people. That's why we still got a white Jesus. That's why we still got white best friends. We got all white this and a white that. And I don't believe in hating nobody. Okay, but if you're going to just keep playing into the hands of your enemy, then sometimes you got to question whether or not you deserve the treatment that you get. Now, in terms of the big brother, big sister piece, that's something else we lacking in. The average parent don't have an agency they can go to and get a mentor for their child that's run by black people. Now, I do know some positive groups who do some mentorship, but it's limited, it's occasional. Everybody running around with a damn 501c3 grant, but they put half the money in their pocket and only leaving a few quarters for the hood. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm sure y'all got them here in Richmond. You got $750,000, but the hood only saw $150,000.